And welcome to the Incredible Hokes. I'm Chris.
I'm Mark.
Part 2 of our ongoing debate / saga / epic tale of Fault in Our Stars. Is it Fault in Our Stars?
The Fault in Our Stars.
The Fault in Our Stars and the cultural significance that entails.
Now you got me questioning it now. I'm like, is it The Fault in These Stars?
I don't know. It's taken from Shakespeare.
You know what it is.
Whatever Shakespeare said it was, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. When you first saw it, I didn't see it. I still haven't seen it. And when you saw it,
yeah.
I don't know if you saw it on video, you saw the movies, what you did.
I rented it, yeah.
You saw it on video, and you sent me a review, like you always do. And you made the what we talked about last episode, the Tom Cruise question.
Yes.
And you had said, is this the end of Tom Cruise stardom? And we talked about it off air. I said, why are we, as people, critics, fans, whatever, so quick to point out the end or the beginning of something? Case in point with a recent example from this time we shot this. I'm a huge Tennessee Titans football fan, so that tells you my intelligence level there. But anyway, we have a rookie quarterback. He plays a decent game, and I'm getting texts from some of my friends. Man, this is the beginning of a new era for Tennessee. And I'm like, well, he hasn't really won anything, and he hasn't done anything that special. Let's talk when he gets in the playoffs. Then we'll talk new era.
Yeah.
So I thought that was premature to just say, is this the beginning of the new era for the Titans? Because I'm like, no, they haven't done anything. They still suck.
0-3. I mean, that's end of an.
They're still they're a terrible team, and they're still terrible, and they'll be terrible. For the rest of this year. Maybe they'll have a great offseason and be good next year. But as it stands now, they're a bad team, and they'll be bad until that changes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing to market with. There's no like, hey, this is the beginning of a new era or any of that stuff. It's not. But we as fans, critics, what have you, like saying this is the beginning of such and such era. So, having said that, I guess there's multiple questions here.
Sure.
The first one is, why are we so quick to label things as the beginning or the end or what have you? Is it the I want to be first to call it and identify it? Is that what it is? What makes you say, hey, this is the beginning and the end of Tom Cruise or whatever else? We'll just use that as an example. We'll use the Tom Cruise thing as an example.
You want me to give you my 2 cents
Give
on
your
that?
2 cents.
Well, I'll speak for me. I think if I'm, I guess let's say when I'm guilty of kind of looking at someone and trying to analyzing their career or their resume or whatever, I love history. I'm kind of a history buff. So I think that plays into my personality type and being fascinated. One of the things I'm really big on is I'm a U.S. president's history buff.
Okay.
I'm fascinated with that. If someone came up to me and said, "Hey, give me your top 5 presidents or whatever," and let's discuss, I'd be a happy camper because I enjoy that kind of conversation.
Sure.
So that said, if we're talking about a star, Tom Cruise is certainly that, and someone talks about the legacy, you are kind of interested in like, okay, to me, because I'm such a history buff, I am fascinated about what was his peak period, what was his highlights, what was his low times, and doing that whole thing. I think when it comes to like magazines and the paparazzi, they're just trying to sell. They're going for.
They're just inciting discussion.
Yeah, they're trying to get their magazines circulated, or if it's a television program, they're trying to get ratings. It's just and obviously it intrigues people, and they tune in and watch because or otherwise they knock it off.
Well, people love making lists. People love reading lists. They love arguing with lists. I think it's kind of the same thing. We love to be able to argue our point that this is the beginning or this is the end. And I'm guilty too. Don't get me wrong. I'm guilty of this too. Every year I declare it's the last year for Tom Brady to be any good. It's kind of my annual prediction that he's not going to be any good this year. I do. Every year I'm like, this is the year that he starts sucking and they have to get rid of him. and he's yet to. That's
He's
yet to
incredible.
happen. He's yet to happen.
That's a whole other show. Talking about
And
Tom
I don't
Brady.
even hate Tom Brady. I really don't. I really have nothing
No, you
against
don't.
Tom
Yeah,
Brady.
you don't. Yeah.
I don't hate Tom Brady. It's just my annual pick. This is the year that he starts sucking, and every year he doesn't suck.
Well, you just think someone can't play their entire
Well,
career
yeah, I
at
mean,
that
'cause-
level. You would think.
Because we've watched football now that we're around that 40 age.
Yeah.
We've got a good chunk of history to go on that we've been watching it.
Sure.
So I saw Troy Aikman's career go up and then go back down.
Yeah.
And then I saw Dan Marino up and down Elway and all that kind of stuff.
His
So
slide, yeah.
I've seen several arcs of several different
Sure.
quarterbacks. So I was like, okay, I'm watching Manning and Brady.
Mm-hmm.
They've been good, and it's got to come down. So
Yeah.
every year, like, okay, this is the last year for Brady. All right, it's not yet. Okay. And I don't want it to be. I just always make that prediction. I'm just always looking for it. So it's almost like watching a car race to see a car crash. It's almost like, you know what I mean? It's kind of that morbid. To me, that's what comes off to me. It's almost our human curiosity with failure and morbidity. You know.
Now, to be clear, are you saying that's where you're coming from, or just that is where some people are coming from?
Both. I think that's probably where I come from on it.
Okay, that was just clarification.
I think it's my morbid side to. It's over now. It's over now. It is over. I told you it was over. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, we've said it about. I mean,
well, Brett Favre, to use the football analogy, I mean, his best season was his second to last.
Yeah.
That second to last year at Minnesota, it was one of his best seasons.
Yeah.
And you just had you were in awe. I was like, how is this guy doing this 40 plus?
And then using Tom Cruise, like I don't agree that we're anywhere close to seeing the end of Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise is one of those movie stars that is done when he says he's done.
Yeah.
I think he's a Paul Newman type that goes until the day he dies.
Yep.
I think that's who he is, and that's who he'll be.
Right.
I think people, to get specifically on the Tom Cruise subject, his public persona is weird. How much of that is true? I don't know. I can't judge. I won't judge. He seems like a decent guy, but there have been some really weird stuff too. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of on the fence. I think he's kind of weird, but I think he's kind of cool too. You know what I mean? I don't believe all I read, but then there's enough stuff that you do know is fact. It's kind of weird too.
Right.
I mean, every wife has to leave him under some weird circumstance. That's a red flag, you know? I hate to say it, but that's a red flag. When all your wives have to flee in the middle of the night to get away from you, that's a red flag. You know?
Yeah, you know, that's a tough one too, because it always centers around his particular religion. And I always try to, remind anyone.
Religion smidgen. If your wife has to leave you in the middle of the night, there's something wrong with you. But
the rumors, at least, or the perception is that they didn't want to raise the children under that particular religion. That is the scuttlebutt. Now, whether that's true, I have no idea. None of my business. If there is some truth to that, I just would urge people, like when all that stuff happened around the War of the Worlds era, it's like, guys, it's freedom. We're in America. It's freedom of religion. So, by all means, if you don't care for that particular faith that he has,
sure,
that's fine. But don't put down the man because he chooses that faith.
No. To finish my point,
yeah, please.
I think that him as the person, I can't judge. I think there's some stuff that makes my eyebrow kind of arch and raise, and there are red flaggish, but ultimately I don't judge. However, on screen, I freaking love Tom Cruise. I love Tom Cruise on screen. I always like him. I mean, the movie he did with Cameron Diaz was really good, and not enough people saw it. I can't think of
Vanilla Sky?
No, the action movie, man.
Night and Day.
Night and Day.
Yeah,
Night and Day was a great movie, dude. And not enough people see it. And I think it kind of got bashed and swept under the rug. Probably some bad marketing choices on their part. But it was just a good movie. I mean, it was just a fun movie.
It was a fun movie.
And it got kind of swept under the rug. And people need to check it out. He's just good on camera. I love, when I go see Tom Cruise in the movie, I know I'm going to see a well-made movie. It's going to be very well made. It's going to be the state of the art of what Hollywood has to offer.
Right.
And he's going to be good in it. I'm going to be entertained. And he never lets me down. Or rarely lets me down, I should say. So I never worry about the off-screen stuff because he always delivers on-screen.
Right.
So I think he's here to stay. And that's pretty much how I think. You know, I'd work with him in a heartbeat. I mean, I'd count myself lucky to be able to work with a Tom Cruise. If you're listening, Tom Cruise, if you saw Wounded and thought it was amazing, you know, I'll give you my text. You can text me. But anyway, you can have the final word on all of it.
I get the final word. Well, I think it's just a cautionary tale for all of us. Don't be too quick to say it's over for anybody. And America loves comebacks. There you go.
All right. So we'll hope you'll come back and watch more of the Little Hokes. Or is it? I'll just give you both.